I'm Jeremiah McKinnon, and this is NEC News Today. Here now are the top cannabis news stories from around New England for June 30th, 2023. The state of Connecticut has announced that homegrow can begin starting on July 1st, and the fees to register with the medical marijuana program will also disappear. Starting on July 1st, 2023, in Connecticut, the Department of Consumer Protection is eliminating the registration fees for medical marijuana patients. This decision aims to enhance accessibility and affordability for patients. The fee to renew a patient registration was previously $25 annually. Alongside this development, as of July 1st, adults aged 21 years or older can legally grow marijuana plants at home in Connecticut. However, the state's Department of Consumer Protection is emphasizing responsible cultivation practices to ensure the safety of both individuals and the community. The law permits the indoor cultivation of up to 3 mature and 3 immature plants per individual, with a maximum of 12 plants per household. New Hampshire's medical cannabis program now has reciprocity, allowing patients with out-of-state medical marijuana cards to purchase their medicine at state dispensaries. New Hampshire's Division of Public Health Services has announced a significant change, allowing visitors from out-of-state and Canada to access therapeutic cannabis at the state's alternative treatment centers. The decision aims to provide individuals with severe medical conditions the assurance that they can safely obtain medical marijuana while visiting New Hampshire. Under the new policy, visiting patients with valid therapeutic cannabis identification from another state or Canada can purchase therapeutic cannabis from New Hampshire's ATCs up to 3 times per year, provided that they abide by possession limits and comply with applicable state laws. According to the announcement, only those that have a diagnosis on New Hampshire's qualifying list of conditions can qualify. In western Maine, 2 former Franklin County Sheriff's deputies and a former town selectman have pleaded guilty in federal court for their roles in an illegal marijuana operation. According to WGME CBS 13, the defendants were part of a criminal conspiracy involved in the underground industrial cultivation and distribution of marijuana, with the operation estimated to be worth $13 million. Former deputies Derek Doucette and Bradley Scoville admitted to tipping off the operations leader about the federal investigation, receiving cars and money in return, while former selectman David Burgess accepted cash to advocate for the operator in local decision-making. The sentencing dates for these 3 individuals are yet to be determined. There are now 2 cannabis control commissions in New England, as the Rhode Island Cannabis Control Commission held its first meeting this week. According to the Rhode Island Business Journal, the newly formed Rhode Island Cannabis Control Commission held its first meeting on Thursday afternoon, where an ethics presentation from the State Ethics Commission was held. The Cannabis Control Commission, appointed by Governor Dan McKee after a year-long delay, will now oversee the state's marijuana industry, taking over the job from the Department of Business Regulation. In neighboring Massachusetts, their Cannabis Control Commission has implemented its own code of ethics. State police are investigating whether a home in Chicopee, Massachusetts, is being used as an illicit marijuana grow house. Multiple law enforcement agencies, including state and local police, were involved in the investigation. According to Western Mass News, this incident is one of several investigations into marijuana grow houses across Western Massachusetts since January 2022. No arrests were made during the search of the residence. Massachusetts State Police were leading the investigation, and further details will be disclosed at a later date. Massachusetts does allow for the cultivation of up to 6 plants per person in a residence, with a maximum of 12 plants per household. Medical cannabis patients registered with the state's medical use of marijuana program are allowed to grow up to 12 flowering plants and 12 vegetative plants, excluding clones and cuttings. Last but not least, Connecticut Social Equity Council has launched a $6 million community reinvestment pilot program to support communities and families affected by the war on drugs. This program aims to uplift those communities and strengthen individuals through the development of targeted programs. As part of the program's inaugural round of funding, 6 organizations have been selected as grant recipients. Each organization, including Neighborhood Housing Services of Waterbury, Inc., United Way of Western Connecticut, and the Hispanic Federation, will receive $1 million. These organizations will serve as third-party grant managers responsible for reviewing and recommending grant applications to the Social Equity Council for approval. The initiative is part of Connecticut's commitment to addressing the consequences of the war on drugs and providing support to communities in need, and leveraging resources from the cannabis industry. For the absolute latest New England Cannabis News, head on over to necnewstoday.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video. Subscribe to NEC News Today for more great content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of the show. For New England Cannabis News Today, this is Jeremiah McKinnon, reminding you to always use cannabis responsibly and to enjoy your cannabis-filled adventures. throughout New England.